Hello, everybody. Welcome to Women of Dance. I'm your host, Sharonne Vinokurov, and I'm so excited for today's episode. We're getting ready for the last few before we take our summer hiatus, and I'm so excited to kick off this month with today's guest. Not only is she an incredibly beautiful and talented dancer, but she's also a strong and fabulous woman. So, without further ado, let's bring on today's guest, multiple time world champion, Erica Reyna.
Hi,
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing great over here. How are you?
I'm doing really well. I'm doing very well indeed. It's so good to see you. And thank you so much for finding the time to be on my show.
Of course. I wish it was sooner, but better late than never.
Of course, of course. You're so busy and you have so much going on, and I can't wait to get to all the exciting stuff that's happening now. But before we do that, I want everyone to get a background on you. So we're going to take it to the beginning. And for those of you that are tuning in live, please remember you can comment, ask questions. We're live on Facebook and YouTube. So if you're watching and you want to ask Erica a question, just type it in. You might need to give permission to Facebook to post your comments. So please do that. And with that being said, Erica, tell us about how your dance life began. Give us your background from coming out the womb to putting on your shoes to all of it.
Okay, perfect. I'll do that. So, my mom is a dancer, actually. My mom has danced her whole life. And so, when I was in the belly, I was dancing with my mom, honestly. And I think for me, it was like as soon as I was able to dance, I wanted to dance. My mom had dance classes for kids, and I was in her classes. I started with ballet and tap. And I probably danced with my mom from like ages like 3 to like 7 maybe, and I was just kind of putzing around with her and her classes in the back. And she's my mom, so it's like you learn, but you're more just with your mom. So I think
Mhm.
when I was in elementary school, it was really like it was an exciting thing for me to get into like a real ballet studio, real meaning like another teacher, not my mom.
Yeah, of course.
So when I was in like 4th grade or so, I started going to a ballet school near me, and I would go to YMCA after school and take all the classes there. And I just didn't care what it was. I just wanted to be in dance class. I just wanted to learn, and I just had so much fun. And I was one of those little kids who would just be like so extremely full out, like those kids that you see that are just like,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like energy, no control, just all over the place, just wanted to like move my body. So I started in ballet and tap, hip hop, jazz. I did community theater, so musical theater. I just loved any kind of dance.
I love it. What kind of singer are
Yeah.
you? Soprano, alto?
Oh, I mean musical theater dance. But I
Okay. You
do
do
sing.
sing though.
I do sing a little bit. Yeah, soprano. But I had to take, actually, it was really amazing because some of my dance schools required us to take everything. And one of the schools that I went to, we took voice lessons. So I got
Nice.
to do that. Yeah.
Okay. What shows did you do when you were younger?
I did Aida. I did Newsies. I did, what else did I do? I was really little. Recently I did like a little West Side Story rendition thing, but we didn't sing in it. We didn't end up singing. It was just all dancing.
Gotcha.
But
Gotcha.
I love it so much. I love musical theater.
Do you have a favorite musical?
Probably, this is hard. Probably Chicago.
Oh, I love Chicago.
Chicago's just like sexy and like hot. And the
Very
dancing
much
is,
so.
yeah.
Very much so. By the way, we have a comment for you here. Sade Montoya says, "Hi, Erica
Oh
Reyna."
my gosh, Sade. Hi.
Love it.
Sade, like the singer. This is the cutest name ever.
Sade.
I might steal it.
There you go.
Maybe child ever, if it ever happens. This point.
I'm curious. You said your mom was a dancer. Was she a ballerina? Was that her style?
Yeah, so my mom was a ballet dancer, tap dancer, and just was always in like drill team, like jazz, very like classical, didn't do anything more, like wasn't into Latin or funk or hip hop. But yeah, she's like a really, really good ballet dancer and tap dancer. She still actually teaches tap like maybe like twice a day. She has like 2 classes a day.
Wow. Do you tap?
I do. I do tap a little bit. Yeah. But
Oh my God. You had to put that in a routine.
I haven't taken a tap class since I took one over the quarantine online, which is hard to do because it's like, how do you tap in your house? It's really hard with shoes. So I haven't like put my shoes on and like gone into a tap class in forever. But there's actually, it's come in handy so much because I've done a couple jobs where I've had to learn a little tap number, and like, even though I don't train in it, it's like it comes back, and I can copy it.
Muscle memory is a really funny thing. I took tap for maybe a year when I was a child, and I can still, like, if I try, I can do some of those basic steps. It just comes back.
It's so much fun. It's hard.
It is so hard.
It is
It's
so
such an
hard.
underappreciated art.
Seriously.
All right. So, okay. Well, you did all these types of theater and dancing and everything. How did salsa come into your life? How did Latin dance come into it?
So when I think I was 19 at the time. So I didn't start like actually taking classes and wanting to learn more until I was about 19. But I'm from San Diego. And so when I was in San Diego, I had a friend who I think honestly, she was looking back in Alma Latina.
Okay.
At the time. And that just shows how like long Alma Latina was around. It was like a really long time. But she used to go out dancing all the time. And at that point I was already, I had been dancing for so many years. And so I just started going out social dancing, and then I was terrible, but it was fun. And I got super into it. And then I had a couple of jobs because I was dancing for an entertainment company, like random jobs at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And we had to do like a little Latin number, and there was like a cha-cha-cha. And I just loved it. After that, I was like, okay, where can I take classes? How many classes I can take? I was like at the club taking all the classes, and then started taking private lessons. And I just like, I'm a very all or nothing person. So when I started doing it, I was like, I'm now going to do this all day, every day. Okay, let me close this window. Sorry, I'm in LA and it's a loud city.
Claire, I was like, what is happening outside her place right now?
There's either like, a tow truck or an ambulance. There's like always something. So
Gotcha. Fair enough.
What happened? It was just kind of like, it wasn't like an idea where I was like, that would be interesting. I just started going out and I started social dancing, and I loved it so much. And I actually like had to use it for jobs. And so I was like, okay, this is actually a good way for me to just improve my special skills. Like I already dance this style, so let me learn another style. But now it's like my main thing. So yeah, that's kind of how it happened.
Who were you taking private lessons with? Who were you training with when you started?
At the time, I remember there was a like college congress. There was like college competition stuff going on, and I went to UCSD, and like Liz Lira was there. At the time, it was like all of those dancers, and I remember taking private lessons with Liz Lira. And then the person that I was dancing with in an entertainment company. And so yeah, I just took private lessons from everyone. And then I think a few months after I moved here to LA, I literally took a private lesson from every single person that was here, from Omar, from Liz, from Abel at the time, from who else was here at the time? Jesus Aponte, who now I've like performed with. I took lessons with him.
We'll definitely talk about that later, sure, too.
Pardon?
We're going to talk about you and Jesus later, too, by the way, just so.
So, yeah, just everybody. I didn't even, at the time, I don't even think I knew who anybody was. I just knew.
Ignorance is bliss.
Like, hey, you, like, can I do a lesson? And I was, just taking group classes and stuff, too. And then I realized that I was like, okay, well, actually, I can, like, catch on to this a lot faster than I thought. And then that's what happened.
I love it. I love it. So let's get into 2013 and what I found as the earliest video of your first partnership.
Oh my, there she goes. Walk, walk,
Look at that. Just and leg. Wait, wait, wait. Oh, there it is. High extension. Hello.
This is so funny. I think at this point I think this might have been our first show together like ever.
Yeah. I did my
So
research.
I love this. I love the style of this at the time. This was like cool. But now I'm
So,
like, oh my God, what is that?
how did this partnership come to be? How did this all come to be? Because
So
this is a competition. This isn't just.
this was, I don't remember. Oh my God. I think I've blocked out every memory. I remember thinking that this was like the worst performance of my life. It's so funny because I watch it. I'm like, okay, it's cheesy, but it's not that bad.
No, it's not at all. This was the LA Salsa Open,
Okay, this is LA Salsa Open, kind of cool.
2013.
So when I moved to LA, I was kind of in a place in life where I was just like, honestly, I'm down for anything. I want to do anything. I just want to dance. So I was walking by a dance studio in Santa Monica that I don't think it's there anymore, but it was called the Dance Doctor, and which is a funny name. And I saw Javier inside teaching. And so I just walked in and I joined in the class, and it was like not planned at all. And then we went out that night, I think, to this place called Monsoon that was really close by the promenade. And we literally just started dancing together from that day. Like it was just kind of a spontaneous thing. Yeah.
Just happened.
It literally just happened.
So you guys decided to partner up. Was the idea to compete from the get-go, or was it something you guys decided to do after you started training together?
I think our first goal was to do a Congress. He wanted to do, I think it was the San Francisco Congress and the Vegas Congress. There was 2 Congresses that he really wanted to do. And in the process of us preparing for that, I think it might've been this one. I don't remember if it was this one, if it was the year before, but
the other one, the timeline came first, technically.
This one?
No, the first video by date
okay,
of when posted and whatnot, it was before this, right before this, like a month.
I love it. So yeah, I think he just needed a partner, and I was down. And then at the time that we started practicing, I just kind of was like, well, yeah, I want to compete. Like, I didn't know there was competitions for this. And I honestly had no idea that these competitions were important to people, that these shows were going to be so like well attended. I had no idea like what a Congress was, I had no idea. I just was like, yes, I'll do it. Yes, I'll do it.
I love that. I feel like everybody that I've talked to, if you didn't grow up in this scene, you had no idea that this was a scene.
I had no idea.
Right? Growing up, you started dancing when you were a little kid. Did you think, or did you know that you could have a career as a salsa dancer or a bachata dancer? Like, did you even know about that?
When I first moved to LA, my goal was to just take a bunch of class at all the studios here, get an agent again, because I had an dance agent since I was like 15 years old. So I was like auditioning as a teenager to do like TV commercial kind of stuff. And then I took a break from that because I went to university, and I was like, I had other goals at the time. I was like kind of exploring who I was and like what I wanted to do. And then I was like, you know what? Dancing is never leaving me. Like, I just want to keep doing it. So I moved up to LA to actually focus more on like jazz, commercial dancing, hip hop, jazz funk. And then I was like, oh, this is cool too. I honestly, I would do any style of dance for a career. It happens that Latin is like my primary focus right now, but it's also kind of just like, I just want to dance. Fair. It's like that simple for me.
Fair. I get that. I completely get that feeling for sure. As we've seen, especially in this one, there's a lot of tricks. You, like I, love to be in the air. Yes. And that is not something that is easy to do with a partner. It's something that definitely takes a lot of trust. And it looks like you guys were doing some really crazy tricks from the get-go. So talk to me about that process for you. What is it like coming up with tricks, doing tricks? Because I know a lot of people want to be flyers, but don't know about that life or what it really entails.
Right, exactly. Well, honestly, I don't have a fear when it comes to tricks, or at least I didn't at this time. Like I could fly and I didn't think that it was like anything bad could happen to me. I didn't think about the danger. I
Yeah.
guess now I'm like, the older you get, the more scared you get because become influenced by your experiences. But at the time,
Yep.
I didn't have any bad experiences. I'm like, yay, I fly, I fall, I get back up. Like it didn't scare me to potentially hurt myself, I guess. And I just saw everything, I think, because I had already been dancing for so long, as like, okay, you just learn this and then you do it. As it was not so much like I'm taking this risk by flying in the air. It was like, okay, this is the choreography. I just have to execute it. You know what I mean? But now, of course, I think about it so much more, and I'm like, my body has like been through a lot now, and so I don't want to get injured. Like I think about injuries a lot more now. But I love tricks. I love practicing tricks. I love that they just require so much like muscle and commitment, and it's definitely like it's athletically fulfilling. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I just like to be
Athletically,
carried.
creatively.
As a child, I was like that child who just wanted to be picked up all the time. Like I never
Same.
walk around. So I think that that was a premonition for me, because I was like, somebody just pick me up.
I
And
always joke I have a dream of doing a routine where my feet don't touch the ground at all.
that would be epic.
Like I just want someone to carry. It doesn't have to be a long routine. Give me 90 seconds. Put me in the air and just let my feet not touch the ground for 90 seconds. I will be
That's
so
kind of
happy.
the dream. That's kind of the dream. I want to be carried on a velvet pillow.
That's it. That's the key. We just want to be carried on a velvet pillow. Oh my
Yeah.
God, I love that. I think that's the most brilliant thing I've heard from a flyer on the show.
Oh my God, these videos are giving me, I don't know if life or death, but they're so funny.
I have to give you props. You're handling it very well because I've had guests that have like fallen over
Because
and like guests that forget what they're talking about because they're like, oh my God, what the hell am I doing?
no, honestly, I think I'm good with embarrassment now. I've done the most embarrassing things in front of a bunch of people, so it's fine.
Fair, fair. And plus, you definitely need a thick skin in this
You really,
business.
yeah.
You really, really do. Um, I have a lot of comp videos of you guys. This is one of the Steven Steakhouse competitions.
Oh my gosh. Yes. We did this. I remember this one. This is the one we did with Grizzly and Jessica. Oh my God. Okay, you guys, the fake tan I had on my body I looked like an Oompa Loompa. I looked like a pumpkin. I was orange in this video because the lighting is so bad. It looks brown and bronze and nice, but in person, my body was orange and my armpits were white.
I've been there. I've done
Yep.
the same thing. We're all guilty of it in the beginning.
I just realized you could use that, mousse from Sephora, and I went in. Like I didn't know you just used it once a week. I used it like every single day. Don't do that. As you can
No, definitely don't do that.
I look different. But yeah, this was a fun competition.
I'm curious, did you feel the pressure in the beginning to tan your body or like to try to present yourself a certain way?
I think that at first I didn't. I think it's like the same thing I was saying before. When you go into something for the first time, you're just, everything is so shiny and nice, and you don't really think about expectations. You're just enjoying yourself. And it's actually as you get more experience and you receive more judgment from others and yourself that you start to pick yourself apart, and you like want to look a certain way. And I think at this point I was still just enjoying myself. But definitely as the years passed, I got way more obsessive about certain things. And the tan is, I realized the tan was not working for me actually, and to just chill out with that tan. But definitely other things, yeah, it was a little bit obsessive. I think that's a dance thing. Dance mindset.
Dance mindset. Absolutely. Absolutely. Can we talk costumes real quick? Who does your costumes? Who comes up with your design? Excuse me.
So I would always come up with my own designs, but and I've worked with so many different costume designers, so which are actually have all been really bad experiences, to be honest. The first 5 years of our partnership, like, we never just had the costume. Like, it's not like, okay, we have the costume, let's practice in the costume. We have a month out for the competition. Let's get used to it. It's always like, we're leaving in 1 hour. Where's the costume? It's like always been a nightmare. I've always been stoning the costume right before I go on stage.
Oh yeah.
No tea, no shade, but Javier never did anything. So I would stone his costumes. It was just he didn't like
happens.
What guy does, what person does, but yeah. So I stoned all of our costumes, and it was just a fucking nightmare. But I'm sorry.
No, you can curse all you want. This isn't network television. Swear away.
Yeah, it was a nightmare. So now, my costumes now, I get them all stoned for me, and it's so much easier. Now that I work for myself, by myself for the most part, I don't have to deal with the stress of other people. And that's the best thing ever.
It is. Nothing better than getting to just do what you want for yourself.
Right. I'm working with Mike Zuniga, but he's on top of things the same way I am. So that's really nice. We're very compatible in that way.
This was you guys at the World Latin Dance Cup. Was this the first year you guys were there?
No, this is about maybe the third or fourth.
Okay.
Or this maybe it's been the third.
This is 2014.
Oh, maybe then it was the second.
Okay.
I remember I was really injured. I always struggle with my groin at the time. I used to struggle a lot with it. I don't anymore because I realized like it was a weakness that I had to work on. But yeah, I was super injured, and I remember this was a terrible experience.
Doesn't look terrible.
I can
sell it well.
It wasn't terrible now looking back at it, but in the moment, things feel like the end of the world. And I remember I was just not having the week of my life, and I got through it. But
you definitely did. How do you deal with the pressure, or maybe pressure isn't the word, but we as athletes, right? We get hurt and we have these commitments where we have to perform. How do you get yourself through the performances when your body is not at its best?
It's so hard. I think I'm still, you never really like prepare for that moment, but I think the most that you can do now that I've learned is to just work on your weaknesses a lot, so that when that comes, I mean, it's less severe, because like injuries are going to happen, but like something that I wasn't doing a lot at the time is like rolling out and like getting massages, and like I didn't prioritize like self-care at all. I just thought that I needed to go hard all the time, and I wasn't like thinking about rest as like an important part of that. So I think looking back, I would to advise anyone is to get way more rest and just when you can do. Oh my God, those are my cats. I'm sorry. They sound like crazy.
That was a cat.
They're just like, is to get rest. Like when you don't have to be moving, like don't move. Like you're not dancing, sit down and like get a massage, or like do yoga. I do a lot of yoga now. It's like, I just try to nurture my body more so that when those moments happen, like my intuition can kind of guide me. Like, for example, I had a show a few weeks ago, and I was feeling my hamstring was really bothering me, but I had to do a solo. So I was like, okay, how can I alter my routine, the day of, where it doesn't throw me off too much, but I don't further hurt myself. It's just like you learn to listen to your body. And like let it go sometimes. Like I think always try to do like the most challenging routine, the most like exciting routine, but sometimes that's like not that necessary, and you can just sell your energy, sell your personality. You don't always have to be like doing the craziest stuff in the room. So like if you're injured, maybe chill out.
Maybe chill out.
Yeah.
Great advice. Just chill out. No, I love it. It's hard. As a dancer, it's really hard to not move.
It's so hard.
It's so hard. Absolutely. Couldn't agree with you more. I will say you are in fantastic shape. So I know a lot of women, myself included, would kill for your body. And I've told you before, I wanted to buy costumes off you, but I'm like, I'm not nearly as long as you. I wouldn't like, I need another 3 or 4 inches to be able to wear them. But what is your fitness regime? Like, how do you take care of yourself health wise in terms of eating right? Do you, besides yoga, do you do anything else?
I've gone in so many different phases in life. Like I've gone through the I'm gonna go to the gym every single day phase. I've gone to like not wanting to work out at all and just practicing dancing all the time, just stretching and doing like important conditioning and stuff.
Mhm.
I think what makes me feel the best in the moment changes. So like I think for me the plan is to not have a plan, because if I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go to the gym every single day and I'm gonna like eat really healthy every single day, and then it's like I stress myself out and I put unrealistic expectations on myself. So I kind of just like see how I feel for that day, like how can I move my body today in a way that's like gonna make me feel good and look good, and like, like I try to just like listen to myself. But at the time, some of these older videos, I definitely was like an exercise freak. I think I did so much cardio, so much gym all the time. And I think it wasn't even like I was trying to be skinny, but I was like a very obsessive person.
Mhm.
And that has changed so much for me. So it's like, I don't really relate to her anymore. Like I watch these
Growth.
and I'm like, who's that girl? Because it doesn't feel like me anymore. We evolve so much, but
That's a
now,
great word. We
yeah,
evolve.
evolve. Now I love yoga. I eat really healthy. I will say that. Like, I rarely crave like junk food. So I usually crave foods that like are good. I like salads and vegetables and avocados and
Such a
chicken.
California answer.
It's what I crave. So, I mean, obviously, if I want something bad, I love pizza. I eat a lot of pizza. But other than that, I don't really like crave unhealthy foods, which is,
Gotcha.
I'm just lucky for that. But like, I'm never like, oh my God, right now I really need like a onion ring.
Cake.
Yeah. I
I
don't,
need some cake.
not to say that I don't love cake and onion rings. I just don't like, I don't never think to go grab it. And maybe that's because my mom's a fitness person too. And she just always raised us around like healthier foods. So they're comfortable for me. Like I
Mhm.
like healthy food. Yeah.
I love your half skirt look, the flowy half
I'll
skirt.
have this costume. I'm still waiting for the moment to wear it again. I have, I mean, unless you want to buy it.
Well, that's true. There is a separation, but again, I don't think I could pull that off like you. Sorry.
I
I love
love
it.
too. I don't know why I barely wore this costume. I think him and I ended up hating this routine. And so
The
we
costume
performed,
paid the price.
we performed it like a few times and then we were like, okay, that's enough. I don't want to do that one again.
There's always that routine where you're like,
I'm so naked in the front. I'm watching this and I'm like, girl, you are wearing a bikini out there.
yep.
Okay, well,
Listen, do you, girl? You look amazing.
I mean, you know,
It was what it was.
and I guess I don't know.
It
But
was what it was. Your
I just,
costumes definitely evolved over the years, though. Your look changed
yeah,
for sure. I mean, this one,
that routine I really enjoyed.
that's a beautiful routine. It's a beautiful costume.
Mhm.
And you really got into the whole pant look.
I got into the pant look. I was experimenting with the bodysuits. Now then the bodysuits became everybody's thing, and so now I was like, okay, now I got to go back to the no bodysuit because got to keep it innovative somehow. I think this was like one of our first times performing this one. I
This
don't remember.
routine?
Honestly, my timeline is so messed up. I don't know. Him and I
Aw.
so much together all the time that I don't even know what's what.
I believe, if I'm not mistaken, this was the end of 2015.
Okay, so maybe we had, I don't know. I really don't know.
I'm almost positive this was like December 2015. I want to open up the separate playlist on my phone right now, but I'm terrified that it's going to start making noise
Oh
to
my God.
double check it. So I'm just going to go with my gut and say that this was December
No.
2015.
Yeah, I liked this routine. It was like, it felt really good. Sometimes there's routines that they just feel really good. Like you don't really stress, you're just kind of in the moment. There's other routines that you really just like, you want them to be good, but they're just not organic. And you're like, why did I come up with this? It's not even me.
Hmm.
But that routine felt really like, nothing felt, overworked. And I liked that.
It just felt very natural and flowing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, when that happens with the choreography, I feel like it's so magical.
It's so magical. It's so hard to do. Like
Hmm.
it's less about like whether people like it the most. It's just like it feels good to do.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is you guys at the World Salsa Summit. You placed third here.
Hmm.
Another half skirt costume.
Yes, I had the feathers going in the booty.
I love the feathers on the booty. Here's my thing with feathers, right? Love them for a costume. Love the way they look on stage. Such a problem to maintain because feathers get fucking everywhere.
They get everywhere. That's just also kind of a fringe issue too.
Yeah, not as much though as with feathers because I'll have a feather costume and I won't touch that thing for years and I'll still find random pieces of feather somewhere. Like, how are you showing up? Like, I haven't touched you.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like that happens way more with feathers than with fringe.
Yeah, I never went back to feathers after this. I was like, it's not my look.
Who do you train with for comps?
So primarily with Billy, we would train with Billy.
Papa.
Yeah, so Billy and Katie, and then like every once in a while we would do like an acro coach or like a random or whoever, somebody that was in town from Mexico or Sergio or like, like I remember we had like asked him for help on one of our bachata routines. We would kind of just like ask for help from everyone in
Mm-hmm.
Simone and Sirena, right?
Mm-hmm.
From oh
Italy.
no, not them. Who was it? Who am I getting confused with? Why can't I think of them right now? The bachata couple. They were Andrea and Sylvia.
Sylvia. Andrea and Sylvia.
Andrea and Sylvia. Um,
I call them Barbie and Ken.
lessons with them. Yeah, like we just kind of
So
like asked
beautiful.
our peers that we admired. Sometimes I'd ask Jen, and Jen would help us. Like just kind of anyone and everyone. I always really like just getting advice from people. Yeah.
Who does your choreography for competition? Do you guys choreograph your own?
Yeah, we choreograph our own for the most part. I remember Sergio helped us with like we had like a 30-second or whatever. When you just like are so stumped and you're like, okay,
Yep.
if I look at this anymore, I'm gonna black out and pass away because you're just so frustrated. So
Oh yeah,
like
for sure.
like, hey, can you guys look at this and like, we'd get an idea from someone and be like, okay, we'll work with this, because we would just be so stumped. But yeah, we did everything ourselves for the most part, which would be a annoying process.
This was your world championship bachata cabaret routine.
Yeah, this was our first one that we won together, like at a world competition. It was so unexpected. I did not think I was going to win.
Really?
I did not think I was going to win at all. No, I don't know why. I just remember feeling like so shocked when we won and being like, really? I guess yeah, I had zero expectations. I think when you compete, we competed so much, and like we had won all the time in LA, but we had competed so much and lost so much because we would just like do anything and everything. Like we would do
Hmm.
every competition, like the rinky dink competitions, like we do all of them, and like we won, but we'd also lose a lot. So like I don't know, I just never expected to win at this point. I think the more you do, the older you get in your experience in industry, whatever, you expect to win more. But
Hmm.
at this point, I never expected to win. I just was like, let's just do it.
Do you remember being in that moment during that competition?
Yeah, I this was a really this experience was good. This was a good competition experience. I think sometimes I can look at a lot of them and I remember distinctly like not enjoying myself. I think people think that like it's fun. And honestly, it's not.
Competition is not fun.
It is not fun. Like I would say that there are fun moments, but
Yes.
overall it is not fun. So like it's kind of rare when you're like, oh, this was a fun experience.
Hmm.
Because for the most part, it's like I'm usually really stressed out. I'm putting a wild amount of pressure on myself. Like weird things are going wrong. It's like, what's that Murphy? It's like Murphy's Law, whatever can
Hmm.
go wrong. That is like a competition for you. You're like, my
Yes.
spoon broke. I just pull my hamstring. Like it's like the world just explodes because you're just like, of course, you need to focus and then you can't.
Look at you rocking out the solo
Yeah, that was the
at Steven's Steakhouse.
that's Granada.
Or
So that
Granada. I'm sorry, Granada. First place,
LA.
by the way.
Huh?
You took first place here.
Yes, I did. That was fun actually. What year was this?
This was, I believe, 2016 still, or 2017.
Okay. Yeah, this one was pretty fun. I actually got a little coaching from a toy on that one when she was
Yes, a toy. Love her.
I love her too. She helped me come up with some stuff at the end because I was again like so stumped. I remember I was rushing so much. I watched this video later and I was like, "Oh my god, girl, stay on time." I was so rushed because I had so much adrenaline in my body that I was like
Hmm.
I was telling myself, I'm like, relax, 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 but I literally couldn't. I was like ripping out of my skin. I was so like, that feeling where you're
Oh,
just
for
like,
sure. Solos are a whole other animal. Do you enjoy doing solos?
yes. I love doing solos because I feel like it's so much easier to recover your mistakes. Like there's no mistakes in a solo except for
Sure.
my timing here because what the fuck.
Or if, God forbid, you fall. But even that you can sell because you just add a head roll and all of a sudden it was on purpose.
Exactly. It's like so fun because it allows you to just like be you and like just sell your energy and that's it. Make
this
people feel something.
this I believe was the costume I wanted to buy off of you.
Yes, this one is not for sale.
Yeah, I know. Again, it's an attached. I can't pull it off. I'm too short.
Okay, you could totally pull it off. It's nude. Anyone can pull it off. But it always shows my fishnets in the back on the top. I'm going to say that. But it's a really cute costume and so sometimes whenever I have like events here in LA, like commercial events like I have for
Hmm.
different like companies, I bring this costume and they're always like, "Ooh, wear that one." And I
I've
like
seen some of the videos and pics from some of the commercial events that you do, including one recently you were at some house or something with some people and you had on these gorgeous costumes. You guys did like a salsa number and then you had on these little things with feathers. I was like, "Oh my God, I don't know what event she's doing right now, but I want those clothes."
Yeah, I danced for this it's an entertainment company, but it's like an entertainment company on steroids. It is a full company. The costumes are like super opulent, and it's called Tease Productions. And she has a show, Donna Hood. She has a show called Tease If You Please, and she's very like pin-uppy. She worked. I'm pretty sure she did stuff for Dita Von Teese. Like she has like
Oh, wow.
um, a very extensive resume. Anyway, so yeah, I loved those costumes too.
Gorgeous.
This was my ladies team.
Yes.
I've had so many kinds of lady. That was cute.
This
I've
is
had
a very cute routine. I'm sad I can't play the music because like it goes so well. But if you guys want to watch this, just search Erica Reyna on YouTube. You'll find it.
I've had so many different like I've tried so many different ways to have ladies teams. Like I think at this point I was still dancing with Javier, so I did something that was like for his company at the time, Clavi Tumbao. And then it became Erica Reyna ladies, and then it became what it is now, which is Emotion. But it's like I tried so many times and did so many different things. It's funny to see how it used to be.
What's it like working with a group of women?
It's I love it. It's definitely a lot easier than working with, you know, couples because that's
Mhm.
a disaster. It's a scheduling nightmare. It's like a commitment nightmare. And I feel like I found in my experiences that it's so much easier to work with all ladies styling. It's just, you can practice on your own. You can kind of be accountable for your own
Mhm.
experience in a way. And then also just like, I just like sexy, cute stuff.
Sexy, cute stuff. That sounds fun.
Yeah.
Sounds fun. Corwin says, "Hi, ladies and everyone. Erica, see you in a couple of days here in the SLC for the festival."
Yes, I'll be there. I'm so
So,
excited.
this is you doing another solo, again, a first place performance.
Yes, that was a really good day.
Explain. What do you mean by
That
it was a really
was
good day?
because
Because I felt you'd say that just now.
it was a really good day. So Javier and I, my old partner, for those who don't know, um, we had stopped dancing together. We were married, so we were divorcing, and I think we're already divorced. What year is this?
This is 2017 or 2018. Maybe 2018, actually.
I think okay, yeah. So we had already divorced. But I remember, or we were divorcing. I don't know. I can't remember anymore. I literally that's so bad that I don't even know that.
It's
But
okay.
when I'm done with something, I just let it go. I let it fly away from my memory because I have other
You know
things.
what? That's healthy. That's healthy, girl.
I'm gonna let that go. But I think this was like the first solo I had done or performance I had done since that experience, which was like really obviously stressful and like scary
Mhm.
and bad for me. So I felt like I had so much to prove to myself in that moment because I was going to be, around those people. And like, it was a challenge for myself. Can I focus on myself? And like, despite how I'm feeling about other people, I can't
Mhm.
explain it, but it was like a good moment that I proved to myself that I don't have to like shrivel up and die from this.
Please don't.
We feel like, again, everything feels like the end of the world when you're in it.
Of
And
course.
you keep living and then you're like, oh, I'm fine.
One of the things that I've talked about with many of the guests that I've had on this show is the struggle a lot of female artists face when they end a partnership.
It's really stressful and it shouldn't be, but it is because, it's still super male dominated. And
Mhm.
I on genuinely in my partnerships in the past, by partnerships, I really only had one, but partnership, I'm like, why am I trying to like pretend? When I was dancing with Javier, I really didn't, and this is not on him, it's not just his responsibility, but I was not taking like my power at all. I was not asking for what I wanted. I did not ask for if we were getting paid a certain amount. I never would be like, hey, I want more, or hey, can I see the money before you deposit? Like I never like
Mhm.
asked for what I felt comfortable with because I just didn't even know how.
Mhm.
And so yeah, I that's just not who I am anymore. But leaving a partnership is like you discover so much that you need.
Oh, absolutely. And it's crazy. Every woman I've talked to that had to leave a partnership basically had to start from scratch, even though each one of those women was incredibly accomplished in their partnerships.
Right. I mean,
And
at the
it
end,
doesn't happen the same for the male partners.
no, 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 no. I mean, and in my situation, I think what it is that women like we're the circumstances that we're in, we just have to be so resilient. And so when we're done with something, like when I knew I wanted to end my partnership and when I wanted to move on, it wasn't a question of like, okay, so what are we going to do? Like, are we going to split this? Or are we going to take, I knew that I was going to be able to pick up and move on. Like, I knew I was going to be fine, even though I knew it was going to be really hard. I never for a second was like, oh my God, like I'm not going to be able to start over. I knew I was going to be able to start over. And I honestly, I think as women too, like I feel protective of other people. And so not to say that he couldn't have, I didn't have faith that he could have because I mean, first of all, I was the one that wanted to move on with my life. So I guess I took on the burden, you know, and I give myself burdens because I feel like I'm strong enough to handle it, which maybe we should stop doing that. But yeah, I just remember like starting over and.
Well,
Yeah,
it was very brave to make the decision to walk away from something that was a very successful partnership. You guys won a lot together. You created a lot together. So that took guts on your part, and I commend you for it because look what you've done since. You have this ladies team. I just showed your duo with Jen. You guys took first for that. You started your ladies teams. You just did so much. On your own. And again, it takes a lot of guts.
Yeah, it takes guts. But I think actually something I was talking about with a friend of mine the other day, it's like, I have never in my life like regretted leaving something. I've only ever regretted staying too long. And that's something that's been like super powerful for me because when it comes to personal, when it comes to dance, like if something doesn't feel right, it's not right. And you can try to make it work or last as long as you want, but inevitably like your intuition usually knows. And I've always found that like when I've been like, okay, it's time for me to start over, it's time for me to do something else, I've always realized later like, okay, that was right for me. And even when it's hard, but I've never been like, oh my God, I regret moving on and trying something different. Never.
Well, that's important. That means you're on the right path. Right? That no regret thing. Like, we make decisions and I always call it a buyer's remorse, right? When you make like a big decision, like, and then you're worried you're going to wake up the next day and be like, oh my God, what did I do? If you don't have that buyer's remorse, you made the right decision.
And honestly, like, yeah, I think that I don't know very many people who regret listening to their gut. Like I've never met anyone who's like, oh yeah, I had a feeling and then I did it and then it didn't work out for me. It's like, you have to open yourself up. You have to, rip that Band-Aid off and put yourself in a vulnerable position to accept something new and better. So I think that with partnerships and stuff like that, I have a lot of friends that have like left really successful partnerships and they're always so scared, but then it works out. It always works out in their favor.
And I love the stuff that you're creating with your teams. There's this part of me that's so sad that I can't play this music because I love all of these routines and they go so well. Your musicality is fantastic. I mean, I love the way you dance. I love the way you choreograph.
Oh, thank you so much. I
You can see all the training and all the styles, and I'm a huge fan of fusion. So like, I love that about what you do.
Thank you so much. Sometimes I look back and I hate it and I cringe because it's like fine, but at the same time, I'm like, you have to try different stuff to figure out what you like, and you evolve all the time. So this was a really fun routine. I loved having that guy on my team, Ruben.
Oh my God, I can't take my eyes off him. He's so good.
He's so good. His stage presence is like otherworldly.
I love that he's on your team. I wish more guys would take on the challenge of being on ladies' teams.
Absolutely. I've never said that this is like when I say lady styling, it's because that's the style. It's lady styling is the style, but like anyone can do lady styling. I actually just taught a salsa class last night with Grizzly at the Abbey in West Hollywood, which is a gay club for those who don't know. And it's like there's leads and follows. Like it doesn't matter.
Yep.
Like, and then there's people who learn lady stylings, and then I can teach and dance like more masculine, and that's okay. Like we all have those things inside of us. So I encourage
Absolutely.
guys to come out to the lady styling.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. I'm like, take on the challenge, have fun and play with us. Don't be
Totally.
shy. Just come play. That's what it feels like. A lot of these like ladies teams, when you're in rehearsal with with your girls, like it feels like you're playing. I mean, yes, you're working for a goal, but there's just this fun energy, especially if you have the right group of people with you.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, this was a really fun group.
How much do you feel as a director it's your responsibility to create a safe space for your female dancers to grow and be comfortable?
I mean, I think that's everybody's goal. It's my goal is for everyone to feel super comfortable, good in their skin, challenged, and like tended to. I also think
Mhm.
that um you can't really please everybody. Like everybody is different and needs different things. So I'm like I in order to try to make my environment not a place of like it's weird because it's like I want to be sensitive to people, but I also want people to not be sensitive because it's like I want us to have the same goal and work as a team and like make it less of a me place and more of an us place and like we're all
Mhm.
together and like one of my I have like a little set of rules that I always bring to my students in the very beginning of the season, and it's like my number one rule is no negative self-talk. No one is allowed to say anything bad about themselves. No one, like, it
Ooh,
is against the rule. And if you do, like, you are disrespecting everybody because the way you feel about yourself, you project, you reflect on everybody else around you. And I want people to believe in themselves like it's a rule. Like,
I
you have.
love that.
So I think that and I'm strict about it though. I'm not like, oh, like, no, don't say that. I'm like, no, it's your responsibility to only speak positive words to yourself while you're in here. And so it's like, I try to keep it like positive, but strict because I want people to take themselves seriously and like care about themselves and care about their time and care about others' time. So I think it's like in order to make people feel like they can grow, they need to believe
Mhm.
they can. Like a lot of the time it's like a lot of my students, or I don't know how you've had students in the past, it's like they're already so limiting.
Mhm.
It's like it's not going to matter how many steps I teach you or how much you accomplish. It's like you're not going to receive anything from this because you're not there. You're not
Yeah.
ready. So I think that like I'm kind of strict in the sense that like I expect people to like be on top of it, but more so because they can and I believe in them, and I don't like people who like I don't like teachers that think I'm not going to rise to the challenge. So I'm going to expect everybody to rise to the challenge because I believe in them.
I love that, and I agree with that sentiment 1,000%. I had mentioned earlier I was gonna cut to this I was gonna show your performances with him.
Uh-huh.
What's it like working with this brilliant dancer?
You know what? When we first started dancing together, like we didn't really like I mean, I guess we did have plans. We're like, let's just come up with a little routine. Like Jesus is so chill. Like
Mhm.
it's scary how chill he is because I've always like, with my partnership with Javier, who like we would just like we're both stressed about everything. Like everything was a nightmare to us. Like, oh yeah, okay, we need to practice that. Let's do it 25 times. Like Jesus is like, no, you got it. Like we were like, like that he just has zero stress in his body. And sometimes I'm like, no, actually I don't got it. But he's very like, no, you got it. And I'm like, no, we need to rehearse. But he's just so chill. He's so just shows how like, experienced he is and professional he is. He's just very like knows it's gonna be fine and just like makes you feel really happy. Like, he just doesn't stress. And I really, really enjoy that.
It must come from being in the game for so long. I mean, he's iconic
He's
in this
iconic.
industry.
was definitely so much fun dancing with him. We did another routine too that without tricks,
Mm-hmm.
which was like honestly him, that routine, and then the routine I do with Mike, like those are the first routines I've ever done without tricks. And I was like, oh my God, I never want to do tricks again. Because I'm like, oh my God, you don't have to stress. Like, but
It is less stressful.
it's less stressful when it comes to like, you know, how's my body going to feel today?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm like, oh, I'm on the ground. This is so easy. But that's the good thing about having trained in tricks for so long. I'm just like, it's really hard to stress me out with choreography because I'm like, oh, I'm on the ground. Who cares?
I mean, you're not on the ground here.
Here
That's
I'm not.
actually such a fun trick.
That's a fun trick, right? It's harder than it looks.
Oh, it's definitely harder than
You
it
have to
looks.
like.
What is this project that I stumbled upon online?
No idea. So him and I were just like in the studio. Like the thing with Jesus and I is sometimes we would just like meet up to practice, but like we wouldn't really like have anything we were gonna set to practice. We would just like put a song on and like come up with a little ditty in like 30 minutes. And then so that's what happened here. We had come up with like a little combo in the studio together just for fun. And our friend had a professional camera, and that's the studio that we practice in. We just close the curtains and
Oh, I love it.
yeah, took us
I
like
love it.
yeah.
And you've been doing a lot of commercial work, which is really cool. This is a music video that you're in.
Yeah, okay. Yes, I did this. This was a little quarantine moment. Yeah, so here Desi is somebody that I work with often. He and I have the same agent, and he actually was I did a music video with him when I first moved to LA, like 2012, 13. And yeah, we do a lot of jobs together. We just, yeah, we have so much fun working together. He's so easygoing and adorable.
Do you enjoy doing a lot of the commercial jobs?
I love it. I love it because it's a new challenge every time. You know, you get to be in a different role and learn something new, and then you do the job and then you let it go and then you do another thing. And, you know, it's just very new and interesting, and I like that. I get bored really easily. So I'm like, okay, this is today's challenge. And it feels like you're in that little world. And then you're like, okay, bye. And then you go to the next thing.
It's like, that was fun. Next.
Yeah, cute and fun. It's like a little capsule, a little moment in time. And then you look back on the moment in time, but it never happens again. It's just kind of cool. I like that.
Speaking of cool, you with your partner Mike doing your new world championship winning routine, which I love. I'm obsessed with that song. I'm obsessed with the routine.
I love this routine so much. And you know, it's funny because like we won the competition with this routine, and then I think we've performed this routine maybe 4 times total.
Really?
But we did this BKS. We did San Francisco. We performed it at a club before we competed, and then we competed. And then we just did like I lied. We've done it 5 times. But we're like, okay, we need to perform this more. We're always like, we need to perform. We're gonna be at Fusion in Mexico in October, so I'm sure we're gonna do this routine there. Maybe we'll add some stuff to it. I don't know. You know how it is. We always want to like make it fresh. But yeah, I love this routine. I had so much fun preparing with Mike. He's like just like me in a lot of ways. We're both very like, when we choreograph, some people choreograph and they like Jen. Okay, Jen, the way Jen choreographs is she's like a freak about the counts, like writes out the counts, where are the accents, and then comes up with the choreography based on a structure, right?
Wow.
And me and Mike are very like, let's just improvise and then like see what happens. And then if it feels good, we'll keep it. And if it doesn't, we'll change it. Like we're a little bit more free form. And but then when it comes to like rehearsals and stuff, we're very like punctual. We need a lot of rehearsal before the competition. Like, so it's like we're open, but we're also structured, and it feels really good. we have like a very similar work ethic.
You look very happy doing this performance,
Yeah.
which I feel like we don't get to look happy because we're always like, yes, we're in it, but like you're also in it. So you're thinking, but here, like this routine, you look like you love it.
It's so much fun. I love dancing with Mike. You know what? Mike and I always laugh because both of us are so full out. Like when we dance, we're very like, oh, like it's like energy. And you know, when you perform, how like you always, especially when you're dancing with a guy, when you dance with them in rehearsal, they're like, oh, you're so smooth. It's great. And then you perform with them and you're like, why are you pulling me? Like they're just so strong. Like they don't know the adrenaline. So him and I both get like that. And so when we're performing, it's like, it's like so much energy. And we literally, before we go on stage, have to tell each other, like, okay, only go 50% full out. Do not go 100% because we will kill each other. Sometimes in rehearsal, we like go so full out that we like bonk our heads together.
Oh my goodness.
It's just him and I laugh through everything and we have so much fun. And of course, because we're not a couple, it's happy.
Yeah.
Great.
It's relaxed.
Yeah, dancing with your significant other, it's not for me.
Yeah, doesn't work. It's not for everybody.
Not for everyone.
Unfortunately. What do you have coming up new? Are you holding auditions for your dancers anytime soon? Like, is your emotion company going to grow? What's next for you?
So yeah, I have a few months left in my season, but the cool thing is that like I let girls come in halfway through. So if there are girls that want to join in for the next 3 months, hit me up. So I'm doing that. I'm traveling, like I just said earlier, I'm going to be in Salt Lake this weekend. So I'm really excited for that. I just did a little commercial, so I'm excited that's gonna come out soon, hopefully. Yeah. Traveling, auditioning, teaching. I mean,
so just living your dancer life. Basically.
Living my dancer life. I'm open to new things, and yeah, just I'm gonna continue with my ladies teams, of course. I think I'm gonna keep that. I think I'm gonna keep working with the ladies. It's so nice.
Sorry, I'm like choking on air.
Drama free. Yeah. I love being able to teach without a partner, and no diss to working with anyone, but it's just so nice to not have to rely on anybody and just
do you.
So yeah, hopefully might bring one of my ladies teams to compete. I have like a more advanced salsa girls group who are like killing it. So
nice.
Hopefully we'll compete. I don't know I don't know what's going on in the competitions right now because now there's 2 competitions.
Yeah.
I don't know, okay, but I will hope to be at one of those. I don't know which is the one to go to. I'm confused.
Go to them all. Who cares?
Exactly.
Support everybody. Love everybody. I'm so tired of the division in this industry. Like, why can't we all just get along? That's so kumbaya, but like, I don't even care. I just want peace and harmony in my business. Is that too much to ask for?
Yes, it is. We need
apparently.
I'm just kidding.
Apparently, it's too much to ask for. Before we wrap up, because we've passed the hour mark already. I know. I'm gonna ask you the same question I ask all of my guests. If there was one piece of advice that you could give to women who want to make it in this business, what would that advice be?
My number one advice would be, I mean, this is gonna sound so cliche, but you have to be yourself. You have to be yourself. I think that there's a lot of like this culture of like watch and repeat, like with YouTube and Instagram. Somebody's making a concept video, you want to make a concept video. Somebody's, doing this, you want to do that because you think that that's like a framework to the success or something. But I think that the more you monetize on like who you already are, like the more authentic your work is going to be and the happier you're going to be. Because I feel like I spent a lot of time, just from my own experience, trying to do what other people were doing so that I could be good at it. But it wasn't until I was like, I'm going to explore who I already am, that I started to have a lot of work all of a sudden. Like I felt good inside and I was making money and I was, getting opportunities. So it's like, it's more just about like learning how to own what you already are. Cause that's the coolest thing, is like being unique and being yourself.
Definitely. That's great advice, girl. It's
Yeah.
really great advice. Absolutely. All
It's
right.
really
Well, for
fair.
those of you that want to follow Erica and everything that's going on in her life, don't Facebook stalk her or anything, but just to follow the dance stuff at least. You can follow her on Facebook at Erica Reyna, and you can follow her on Instagram at Erica Reyna Dance.
Yeah.
Erica, thank you so much for being my guest today. I really appreciate you taking the time to come on and share your story.
Thank you so much. I love to talk anytime.
Love it. Well, everyone, thank you so much. Stay tuned for the announcements of who's going to be up for the rest of the month. I've got some great guests lined up and a surprise episode. So, with that being said, I'm your host, Sharonne Vinokurov. This has been Women of Dance. I'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.